Hello everyone, welcome back to another RTS tutorial video. On this part, we'll be creating the building placement itself where we check if there's an obstacle before we place a building. I'm really sorry if this video is delayed. It's already December 24th and my last upload was November 18th if I'm not mistaken. That's like more than a month. I'm really sorry guys. The reason behind that is because I got a new job and it's a home base. That's why I have less time working on my personal projects and I'm more focused on doing my tasks. Also, Blender wasn't working well last time. It was crashing and stuff, and I'm not sure why it happened though. But now it's working fine, and I've also created a barracks, but you can call it anything you want. I'll just call this barracks, and I'm gonna use it for this video. Also, my Unity is now updated to 2018.2.16 F1, which is, I'm not sure if it's the latest today or until this video is uploaded, but yeah, I'm gonna use this. So let's go to the tutorial. First off, I'm gonna create a script and I'm gonna call it as structure, and then I'll open it up with MonoDevelop. Now I'm using MonoDevelop because I wasn't able to install VS Code on my system. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because my system is full. Yeah, I have a lot of projects on my hard drive. So first off, let's remove this to method. We're not gonna use it, and let's create a public material. That's gonna be the texture for the building. Let's call it as public material, and I'm gonna create three variables in this: math okay, math fail, and the default of it. Next, we're gonna create a boolean to check if it's colliding with an obstacle or not. That would be public bool. I'll just call it as okay. I'm really lazy at creating identifiers. Next, I'm gonna call out the renderer of the game object. I'm gonna call it as rend. Next, I'm gonna create a private int, which is gonna show how many objects are colliding with our building. I'll just call it as obj count, and that's it. All of our variables are done. Now I'm gonna create a void start method. I didn't know why I deleted the void start in the first place. Next, I'm gonna call out the rend, and the value of the rend would be the renderer of this object. So get component will automatically get the renderer component of the game object. Now that we're all done with the void start method, let's go to void fixed update. And on the fixed update, we're just gonna create a control structure and check if the amount of objects that it's colliding is more than one. So we're just gonna create if obj count is greater than 1. And then what we're gonna do now is let's set the renderer's material to math fail. That's because it has more than one colliding object, and we don't want to build it since it's colliding with more than one. And then we'll set the value of the OK boolean to false, which means that we can't build in it since we're colliding with more than one. And then I'm gonna create an else if. Just to be safe, I'm just gonna do else if since yeah, I'm a guy with paranoia, anxiety and stuff. That's why. So let's call it as obj count is less than or equals to 1. Then we'll set the rend material to math okay, which means we're allowed to build in it. Then okay would be true. That's it. And now we're gonna create the on collision enter and on collision exit method. But since I'm only gonna put one statement inside of it, I'm just gonna do what they call minified scripting, and the way you do it is like this: on collision enter call, and then we're not gonna create a new line like this. We're not gonna create this one. Instead, we're gonna write all of the statements on one line. So when an object is colliding with our building, obj count should add at least 1. And let's end that up. Now we're gonna create the void on collision exit method. So that would be void on collision exit collision call. So now inside the on collision exit method, we'll just simply reduce the amount of the obj count. That's minus minus. Alright, now that the structure script is done, let's go back to Unity and let it load. Ooh, oh my. Oh, Sorry about that. And there, it's fixed. Now, we're gonna import this to our game. What I usually do when importing is just export it as FBX and then add it to the game, which is in this one. If you have Blender 3D on your system, you can import the .blend file into your game right away. But on my case, I'll just import the FBX file. There, the barracks is in my game. What I usually do is, instead of use embedded materials on the materials, I'm gonna use external materials. And the naming should be from models materials. I'm gonna apply that, and it will automatically create a materials folder inside where you added the building. I'm gonna open up this. I'm gonna create another folder here and call it as barracks, because I'm gonna create two more materials, the OK material and the fail material. But before that, I'm gonna import the texture of it, this one. I'm just gonna put it on my textures folder, and there you go. I'll just create two more materials, and there, I created barracks fail and barracks OK. I'm gonna select the three of them and drag this texture next to the albedo of the materials. Alright, and then let's set the smoothness to 0.5. On the barracks fail, I'll just change the color of it to a bit of red. So I'll reduce the green to 100 and the blue to 100 as well. And it's kind of red now on here. It's kind of red. Everything is red. And I'm gonna do that as well on the barracks OK material. But instead of the red, I'm gonna leave the green at 255 and the red to 100, as well as the blue to 100. Now I'm gonna drag the barracks model into our scene right there. I'm gonna add a box collider as well as a rigid body. I'm gonna disable use gravity. Collision detection should be continuous, and I'm gonna freeze everything on this one. Next, I'm gonna add the structure script that we created into the barracks. Notice that it's asking for tree material. That would be the tree material we have. On the mat fail, I'll just drag the barracks fail. Oops. On the mat OK, I'll just drag the barracks OK. And then on the mat default, I'm just gonna add the default material of the object. I'm not gonna touch the rend since it's gonna be set inside the script. And now I'm gonna drag the barracks and put it on my prefab folder. It will automatically turn into a prefab. But first, on my model, I'm gonna disable this use file scale and then apply. Now the barracks is a bit larger now. I'm gonna select the prefab, set the scale to 1, 1, 1, and now it's small again. On the main camera, we'll remove this object to place and replace it with barracks. I'll just delete this barracks on the scene and I'll try out the game. As you can see, it's the gridless system, or the gridless base building system. Now if I left click, it will create a barracks, which is turned into green, and that means we can build it right there. But it's not returning to the default state or the default material. And when I create another one by its side, it seems that I have an error somewhere. I'm not sure why it's still green even though it's colliding. Let me check. So Unity crashed earlier, but I already found the error. The error was, earlier I added a box collider and then I reduced the size of the object, which significantly reduced the size of the box collider as well. So now it should work properly. Let's try it out. Okay, everything is all set. I'm gonna try it out and hopefully it's gonna work fine. I'm gonna left click and there you go. It's green and I'm gonna left click on its side. I'm gonna check if it's gonna change materials, and there it is. It's changing materials. So now what we want to do is, once we place the object, it's not gonna change its material anymore, and if we place another object that is colliding with another object, it will not be placed, and if we let go of the mouse, it will disappear. So to do this, we're gonna go back to our old script, the gridless base building system. Or on the others, if they're using the raycast building system, you can use that as well. So I'm gonna open up the gridless building system, and on monodevelop, I'm gonna add another field here on the variables. I'm just gonna call this as structure. Now structure is a script that we created. Now every time we're building, we're gonna access the structure script of the building that would be on this if statement inside the get mouse button. So just below this instantiation, we're gonna create structure is equals to building, and then we're gonna use get component the structure script. Structure script, and that's all you need to do on this first if statement. On the get mouse button up, where we let go of the mouse, we're gonna create a control structure, and it's gonna check if the OK boolean inside the structure script of the building that we're placing is either true or false. So that would be if structure.OK is equals to false. Note that the exclamation point in front of a condition means if it's false or something. Now if it's false, we're just gonna simply destroy the built object, which is the one that is the instantiated building right here. Let's save this up and let's go back to Unity. Now in Unity, let's try out the code if it's working, and I'm gonna place one building on the side. I'm gonna place another building on its side, and let's see what happens if I let go of it. There, it's disappearing. That's a good sign. And then let's stop the play mode and let's go back to the script again. So now what we want to do is to set its texture to its default texture. So to do this, I'm just gonna create another else if statement. Yeah, I'm really anxious about coding, that's why I always use else if. Now I'm gonna put structure.OK. If the structure.OK is true, then we're gonna set its renderer material to its default, which is structure.rend. This is the reason why we made the rend as a public variable even though we're not setting it on the inspector, and then dot material, and it should be equal to structure.mat default. All right, let's save this up. Let's head back to Unity and let's try it out. So if I place a building here and if I let go, it should go back to its default texture. Oops, I see. Forgot about that. So this one was running on a fixed update, which is like an update, but it has a fixed time interval, and it's returning that the object count is less than or equal to 1, which will turn its material to math OK. Oh. So now what we're gonna do here is to disable or delete the structure script inside the building. So to do this, I'm just gonna write destroy structure. Structure. And there. Let's head back to Unity and then let's hit play. Now I'm gonna place a building here, and if I let go, it should go back to its default texture. And there it is. And we'll check the object in the inspector, and the structure script is now deleted, and that's fine. Now we're gonna create another one that should be colliding with this object. There. Whoops. And if I let go, it should disappear. There it is. It's working fine now. Whoops. It kind of reminds me of Battle Realms and Zero R. I'm not sure why. It's kind of nostalgic, this base building system is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, this part of the RTS tutorial series. I'm really sorry for the delayed uploads. I'll try my best to upload another video before the end of January, I guess. But yeah, I'm just really busy with works and stuff. Now that our building placement is done, I think I'll just create more assets, more buildings, like terrain assets, and compile it up for you guys to download if you want. The scripts that I'm creating is all free. You can edit it however you want. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the tutorial. Again, I'm really sorry for the delayed upload, and I'll do my best to create more of these tutorials since not much YouTubers are creating RTS tutorials which focuses more on base building systems. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any concerns and stuff. I'll do my best to answer your questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye.